Tell me, how did you find Live Jasmine?
It was a friend of ours that told us about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like there's like we were talking about like just exploring ourselves a little bit more." And they're like, "Oh, like why don't you try it like with someone like a cam model or something?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, not a problem. I'm open." And then next thing you know, we saw it and we saw this that like Jasmine, and we're like, "Wow, this one's nice," versus like other ones that we like explored. So, and that's kind of like where we were at.
Okay, so you are married, and is that right?
Mhm. Hmm.
And you use the service with your wife, is that right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I have so many questions for you. Okay, first and foremost, how long have you been members?
three 3 years. So we kind of like use it more as like because like obviously there's different types of models, but we kind of use it more towards like um how like communication wise, almost kind of like a therapy in a way. It's kind of like how we use it. And it's helpful that way, I guess. Like just having like someone from the outside, kind of like in a judgment free zone, and versus maybe going to like a therapist or whatever. It's different. Um, that's kind of like how we kind of use it, and then sometimes if spice it up, sure, of course, but no, it's never been like that. I guess it's been very very simple. We've never had any issues. Like we communicate really really well.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the number one benefit that you feel like Jasmine brings into your life or value that it provides?
um some that values, really, it's kind of like it brings a little bit more of an intimate moment for us that we can share. We like to explore really like new things and so forth. So I feel like it's like our way to just be more open.
So you feel like the time on Jasmine is kind of like a special time between you and your spouse to kind of
Yeah.
explore.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it brings you closer in your relationship?
Yeah, it does actually.
Why
Hmm.
do you think that?
Because sometimes like we have to try something, like if we're uncomfortable for whatever, if we want to try something, but then maybe the bottle will kind of like make it easier to bring it in. Like, hey, like it's okay. Like it's something you can do and have fun with it. And if we don't like it, then we don't like it. We're like, okay, nope, let's move it away from it. Or but it does, yeah, it kind of it makes it like okay. Like it's not like sometimes like people are scared to try new things or whatever, but this is actually like, like you feel okay. Like it's like you know okay, let's try something we haven't tried before or whatever the case might be, and it works.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting. So you feel like it just somehow makes it a safer environment or space to kind of
Yeah.
explore and try new things.
Yeah. Mhm.
Very cool. How does your spouse feel about it? Like, is this something you kind of had to talk her into, or was she like, no, I'm open to this, or does she enjoy it now? Like,
It was first like a talk, and then it became where something that we both just enjoy.
okay, cool. Do either of you ever use the site alone?
Yeah, yeah, we use it every so often, like alone. Like it's fine. We're very okay with it. Like you're like, okay, well, someone's away. Let's, you know, it's our time or whatever the case may be. It's totally fine.
Very cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could describe your experience on Jasmine in one or two words, what would those words be?
Revolutionary.
Ooh, okay, you have to explain that one. I love that one, by the way.
It's well with the idea, like it's we're in this technology world that that this is something that's relatively new in exciting, and everyone's always excited about something new and engaging. I think yeah, it's a revolution.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because we've been interviewing the models, some of our members, and human connection experts. And the experts have said that in the digital age we're living in, we actually need digital connection now. Like
Yeah,
you would think that before, all you need is in-person connection. But I guess psychologically, because of the age we live in, we do need digital connection and to feel like we're connected online.
I agree 100% as someone who teaches. I think if I don't incorporate some form of technology now in my classroom, it's kind of like, what am I doing? You
Hmm.
know? So it's a way where it's like we have to like reinvent the wheel. It's like an expression we use a lot in teaching. It's like, oh, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. No, you kind of have to now with with the technology world. So yeah, it's definitely it's different.
What is the difference to you between, say, like traditional porn and something like Jasmine?
This is this is something different. It's not that. It's and you can with Jasmine, you're looking at things like you can talk about fashion. You can talk about I mean you can talk about anything really. I mean shoot. I mean to things about like video games to intimate moments. It's crazy. Like you can, it's very open to. I mean, you name it. I don't think it's one thing. I think it's multiple things versus something scripted.
Right. Yeah. You've mentioned a few times that this aspect of the site of being able to talk openly. And so that means I can tell that that's something that's really important to you is feeling like you can just like share and talk about absolutely anything.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Like if you're not open and honest and you can't share with your spouse as far as like your thoughts and your opinions, like it's terrible. Like it's not fun that way. So yeah, I agree.
Very cool. So for you, you feel like the aspect that kind of helps your relationship maybe feel closer or grow deeper is this aspect of being able to try new things and explore together that
Yeah,
this kind of helps facilitate.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we exploring together makes it fun. It's like we're going on an adventure together. Who doesn't want
Yeah.
like like you want to go on a vacation or an adventure? Like do it together. And that's how we look at it.
And I'm curious, does your spouse ever feel protective or jealous or anything in regards to the models?
It's something where like that to happen, she's very open to talking about like after a private chat occurs or whatever the case may be. She's very open and like, okay, let's talk about and for the most part, like I always tell her, like, you're my person, like, I always make sure I always reassure it, like, and she's very, she tells me like, oh, that not jealous really, and she's very easygoing about it.
Very, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I mean, because it's very understandable as a woman, to be like, okay, this is my man, But
Yeah,
I think one of the cool things about camming is that, studies have shown that as human beings, we do like variety. That's a fact.
yeah,
Uh, but with camming, it's like they're also professionals. So
yeah,
there's not this risk of this is someone that's going to try and take your man from you. This is like
yeah,
they actually, doing ultimately a job to provide an awesome experience.
yeah.
And it stops there, although the connections can be real.
Yeah, like and that's something that we've established at the very beginning, like listen, like this is like a professional. This isn't like someone we found randomly in the street and saying like, hey, like you are now part of us. Like no, like that's not the case. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is so cool. I know you mentioned that you had used some other camming sites and that you had realized that you prefer Jasmine. What were some of those differences that you had found?
Uh, just the way that they're laid out, or just like terrible like quality overall. Also like the way that they use like their credit system is just not something that's like user friendly. So I kind of was like, no, I'm good. Kind of was like, I like something that's we like something that's simple and user friendly. The other ones really I've seen out there are not. Um, and even like I've noticed that, and I mean we've tried a few and we were just like, no. I mean even like just overall like variety as far as model goes, like beyond belief with Jasmine.
So you feel like Jasmine was just higher quality overall from like user experience to credits to the platform to the models.
Correct.
I love
100%.
that. I love that answer. Many members have said, they've had certain ideas or fantasies that they've wanted to try, but they just didn't feel comfortable trying it with a partner or a spouse. And they actually felt like you had mentioned, that Jasmine was this safe place to explore it and go there. And then they learned about themselves like, okay, I actually never want to do that again. Or, wow, I really like that.
Yeah.
And they were able to like have this deeper understanding of themselves as a human
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah, like things that like you people don't realize that like you're capable of doing, or like that you never thought about. And then like whether it's the model or your significant other is like, well, have you tried this, or have you done this, or like are you interested in that? And you're like, wait, what's that? And then and then they tell you, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, that's actually really cool. I never thought about that. And then like you use it later, and it's makes it fun. But yeah, that's something that definitely happens.
I think you mentioned that one of your friends told you about the site.
Mhm.
Do you talk to other friends about Jasmine or being members on?
Um, Not really. It's just so happens to be like my best friend who told me about it. It was like, oh, okay. And it's like the one person I can just like go to. It's sometimes it can be kind of, weird or whatever to talk to people about certain topics. And you're just like, but with that person I felt very comfortable with.
Yeah, you're highlighting, I think, a difference in general between men and women, because I feel like as women, we kind of like tell each other everything all the time, and men are kind of a little bit more selective with information, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, do you have
Those
a,
girl nights you gotta worry about.
no, it's true. It is true. That's when all the secrets come out, or,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, yeah, it's girl nights. That's for sure. Those are like the nights that men should be concerned. Sorry, but it's true.
It's
Um, do you have a favorite memory on Jasmine?
there was one memory where her and I wasn't hadn't do anything with sex or anything. That was just more like we wanted to sit and just learn more about each other, and like sometimes like like random question here and there, you're like, okay, yeah, but like having another person like chime in and like talk to one another, I was like, man, this was actually a lot of fun. And you're just like, wow, this is very cool. And that was like one of those moments where it was like it kind of like sparked our relationship more, like talking and communicating more. That was really, really cool.
100%. Someone who basically their job in the situation is to provide a fun, engaged experience in whatever way that you're wanting it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, to like ask questions or to tell you guys to try something or do like that could
Yeah.
be so much fun. I
And
could,
it was like the first time that like one of the first couple times that happened, and then we're like, this is what our friend was talking about. And I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. And that's when it kind of was like our moment, and it was really neat.
thank you so much for giving
Mhm.
us your time today and doing this interview.
You're very welcome.